Chieftess of the Gullah Geechee Nation.
Thank you. And you call yourself the artivist. Can you tell me what does that mean?
When people are yelling me to call myself the artivist and things like that, it like when they yelling me to crack my teeth like this year. So when people hear the artivist, it's just like when they hear me speaking my native tongue, Gullah, that you just heard. They go, what is that exactly? I created that term to describe myself because I do my activism through the arts. So with music, with dance, with artwork behind, with a varied array of things, multimedia, because that captures people even when you speak different languages.
Fantastic. And so where does your art, your music, where does it go? How do you reach the world with it?
Usually the way I reach the world is most arenas that I walk into, people are used to me stepping in the door and they would suddenly hear, get away, Chile Jordan, get away, oh, Chile Jordan, get away, Chile Jordan, I want to cross over for see my Lord, or some other spiritual that emits from the Sea Islands where I'm from. So as the spirituals have gone around the world, they've taken the spirit of my people, Gullah Geechee culture. So that usually draws people in because they're not accustomed to being in political arenas and hearing singing, right? And so that usually gets people's attention. And once you have their attention, it's about holding that attention. So from there, yet in me to crack my teeth like Alicia, the language, they go, they lean in a little further. And once they lean in, I draw them in and draw them to the coast that I'm from.
Which is, can you tell me exactly where are you from?
The Gullah Geechee Nation exists in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of the United States. So it starts at Jacksonville, North Carolina, and goes southward to Jacksonville, Florida. So there's a chain of islands called the Sea Islands, and an area that people often refer to as the Low Country. They call it that because ecologically we are below sea level. And so definitely this is our place, our space, and we've been there since the 1500s.
Now, what is the role of Indigenous communities in conservation and restoration? What's your role?
Indigenous communities are key to us really taking climate action because there are a number of traditional practices that most of us who are Indigenous leaders continue to live that mitigate harm on the earth. For instance, if we go out to harvest, whether that is from the land or from the waterway, we harvest for today to leave more for a future generation. We don't do this thing that I learned in the Western world called derby fishing, meaning you're going to try to sweep out the bottom of the ocean, get as much as you can. That's not our way. It's about living in balance with Mother Earth, and the more that we nurture her, the more she nurtures us. And so that's why I'm here, is to really open up our circle of our cultural heritage to others in the world, and to say, sit with us in the circle and learn from us who we be and how this circle can heal the global community.
Are people listening?
So far, people are listening. I don't know if it's because the music got them, the language did, or just our actions and interactions. But it's something that breaks up the monotony of what a lot of people have just said have been just dialogues and discussions, and leads people to feeling like, hey, there's some action over here. So maybe we can ignite more action by us plugging into each other and having more power than solar could even bring. We are the true renewable energy.
And are Indigenous voices being heard enough here?
I don't know that Indigenous voices are being heard enough here because we have two zones. We have a blue zone, we have a green zone. And it seems like most of the Indigenous voices that I've seen at the COPs are always in the green zone, which is great. That's our green space. But we're also people of the water, where it's blue. And we bring that color to the world of the varied arrays of blue, and not bring the blues like the politicians tend to do. I could sing that, but why? We want to do something more uplifting. And so I think that we need to engage more the Indigenous people and Indigenous leaders on the panels, even in the blue zone, for our voices to be amplified and elevated all the more. As we talk about sea level rising, we need to see the people rising through their Indigenous cultures too.
Now, I know salt marshes is your thing.
Yes.
Talk to me about salt marshes. How can we protect them? And what are you bringing to that conversation?
One of the beautiful things that we're doing in the Gullah Geechee Nation, along with a group called Surpass in the United States, which is kind of what we call a government alphabet soup. There are so many abbreviations in there that I told them we're going to mix into a Gullah Geechee gumbo. We've added pew into that for a little spice and flavor about the environment. So we have this thing called Spartina or Spartina grass, depending on who's pronouncing it, which is salt marsh. And the salt marsh is all through the Sea Islands. It's all along the intercoastal waterway. It's part of our estuary system that helps us not only protect from erosion, but also from flooding. It also helps to purify, detoxify the things that come from runoff from the land. And so that helps us because as ocean people, we also are dealing with ocean acidification. So of course we want to prevent the shorelines from eroding because they protect our maritime forests. So with our oyster beds, our salt marsh, our maritime forests, we have the ecology of the Gullah Geechee Nation, thereby keeping Gullah Geechee cultural heritage alive for the next generation and keeping our food security safe because we still harvest from the waterways. The Gullah Geechee Fishing Association, this is a key part of our lives. And so we want to sustain cultural heritage, but literally sustain our souls and bodies because for us, water is sacred. We always say the water to bring we, the water going to take we back. It's unfortunate that sea level rise is that water that's bringing the world together.
Thank you so much. It was a completely wonderful interview.
Wonderful talking to you. Thank you. So now is that uplifting for you?
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
We just need a bit more singing.
More and you want singing? Oh, I could do another one for you if you like. A little bit more singing. All right.
Yeah.
Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God quite trouble the water. God quite trouble the water. God quite trouble the water. Good?
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was completely wonderful. You have